And welcome to Finding Your Teen's Passion and Developing a Love for Learning. While we are waiting just a couple of minutes for people to get on, because I know if you're like me, sometimes if you forget to set your alarm, you forget about something until you've already missed it. So while we're waiting, I just want to remind you that I am using StreamYard, and in order for me to see your comments and who you are, you need to accept that. So I'd like you to tell me, do you remember high school? Hopefully you do. It hasn't been that long ago, right? And did you like high school? So just let me know something about that. Did you like high school? What about high school did you like? And do you remember anything that you learned in high school? So let's get started. Tonight, we will be taking a look at how you can help your teen succeed in life. You can use your teen's passions to create courses or choose classes that help develop these passions while at the same time motivating them to learn, so you can also help them see beyond high school and how they can and will make a difference in their world. I have seen the success when parents do this. Well, hello, my name is Michelle Osborne. I am the CEO and founder of Yellow House Book Rental. I homeschooled my 4 children for 22 years, and 15 of those years were homeschooling one or more teens. 3 of my children went on to college and were awarded several scholarships. 2 graduated from college in 3 years. They are now all successful adults and doing well in their chosen careers. I have coached many moms of teens over the last 6 years, and I help them become confident in homeschooling their teens. If you participated in this last weekend challenge, some of this may sound familiar, but stay with me. I have so much more to tell you about tonight. Why don't you just drop in the comments there, let me know, yes, I was with you in the challenge, or no, I missed it. I'd love to know how many of you were able to participate in the challenge that are here tonight. Many moms tell me one of their main concerns with homeschooling their teens is their teens' lack of motivation. Why are so many teens not motivated? Well, let's spend a little bit of time together exploring this question. How do you motivate a teen that seems to have lost or have no interest in learning? Right now, their job is to be a student. Their job is to learn. They need to complete the requirements necessary to graduate from high school. And whether they do it happily or not, that will happen. But how do you motivate them to want to learn while they're in school? You can't just let them choose their own classes and hope for the best. Well, it all begins with you, the parent. There is so much that you can do now. So start with your younger ones to start getting to know them, because that is the very first most important step that I talked about in the challenge this last weekend. It all starts when you become a student of your teen. Become a detective and figure out the mystery of your child. What makes them light up? What are their dreams and passions? Do they do better with reading, listening, watching, doing? They may learn in ways that is completely different than you, and you may be tempted to think that they are not learning because they're not doing it your way, but they are. Spend time with them, not just quality time, but quantity time, and ask them questions. Make sure you show interest when they talk. If they tell you about something that made them laugh or what they can't wait for, take note of that. That is telling you something about them. What do they spend their free time doing? This is a really big one in helping you discover their passions and their skills. Even if it's playing a video game, there's so many skills that it takes to play a video game, and if you're the detective and see what's going on, you can find some of those skills as well. Finding the answers to all of these questions will put you in a place to help you motivate your teen and help you know what they need to learn best. Now, this is a process. You won't have the onion peeled in just a week, especially if you have an onion that has lots of layers, if you know what I mean. So be patient. You may be at a hard time with your teen right now. Maybe they're not communicating with you, and they might be going through a time of rebellion. I've been there and it hurts. I remember. So take all the chances that you can to get to be with them and do a lot of praying. When you learn something new about your teen and you are able to adjust their schoolwork, schedules, or chores to fit their needs better, then do it. Are they early birds? Are they night owls? I changed often our school routine, making new chore charts, readjusting consequences for good and poor behavior. Life is fluid, always changing. Just when you think you've got it figured out, something needs to change. Have you guys ever felt like you're at the point where now I understand my children and they go changing something on you again? Let me know. Let me know if you're at that spot right now where you feel like it's all good and it's going the way you need to, or maybe you need to change some things up. We need to be flexible and make those changes. Experiment. Find out what works, and do it. And if it doesn't, change it. Albert Einstein says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You don't want to be considered insane, do you? If your child is resisting learning or not doing very well in learning, find out why, and if possible, make changes. You may think it's an attitude problem. That's what I thought with our teenager at first. We found out that our youngest when she was 14, had a working memory issue, and remembering was so hard for her. This was the most noticeable when she was doing her schoolwork. We found Equipping Minds, and we used the program for about 6 months. What a difference it made. Our teens are very close to adulthood, so we need to consider how we as adults are best motivated, then apply some of those same principles to our teens. There is a saying, the way you think is the way you feel, is the way you act. So I want you to say it with me. Ready? The way you think is the way you feel, is the way you act. Do you remember that? Go ahead and write it in the comments if you remember what I just said. This is a biblical principle. Ephesians 4:23 says, be made new in the attitude of your minds. Romans 12:2 says, be transformed by the renewing of your minds. Philippians 4:8 says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. When you change your actions, you might see some improvement, but when your thinking changes, everything changes. Motivation doesn't start with actions, it starts with your thinking. This is so very important, so I'm going to repeat it for you again. When you change your actions, or your teen does, you might see some improvement, but when their thinking changes, everything changes. Motivation doesn't start with actions, it starts with thinking. Ultimately, it is your thinking that drives your results. It's your thinking that creates your life experiences. This generation is all about feelings. Do what feels right to you. That's what Disney teaches our kids, doesn't it? And most of the movies that we watch do the same for us too. Do what your heart says. Society is programming them to go with their feelings and not to think. How do we change that when we do the very same thing many times? Abraham Lincoln says there is but one way to train up a child in the way he should go, and that is to travel it yourself. Help them think through things and not just rely on their feelings. What do they want in life? What are their goals? Where do they see themselves beyond high school? Maybe 5 years beyond high school. There's so many things that you can ask them to get their brain thinking about the future and their goals. The best way to motivate your teen is to help them find their passion and help them see a vision for their future. Your teen needs a vision and a passion to overcome the lack of motivation. Our first job is to teach our children about Jesus and his love for them, that they are unique. They are every child created on purpose for a purpose. Our second job is to help our teens find their passions and visions for their future. find their passion and vision for the future. Find what they were created to do. Then connect school with life after high school so they can see the reason for doing school. Without a vision and a goal for after high school, they may not even see a reason for trying hard while they are in school. Has your teen ever said, I don't know why I have to learn algebra? When will I ever use it in life? Go ahead and drop it in the comments. Have your teens ever said that? I know, I think all four of mine said that at one point in time. When you have to do something that seems pointless, are you motivated to do it? How do you think your children feel about certain school subjects that they feel are pointless? When my children asked questions like this, I loved it because it was a teaching opportunity for me to help them connect with difficulties, with life, and character building and goals. So it helped me connect the difficulties of life or of school, and I could connect that with building character and goals for their future. The reason so many teens fail to follow through or complete a task when things get tough is due to the lack of connecting with it to real life. How does learning algebra connect to real life? Conquering algebra is not the goal for most, but it is a process of developing character. Learning to do something that they don't like, to enjoy it, do their best, and do it without complaining. Hey, Naomi, I see you just dropped a comment in there. Hello, and yes, I agree with that as well. Help them see that they need to do their school subjects without complaining, whether it's algebra or science or history, whatever it is they despise. Help them to know that it is, if nothing else, a character building time. Once they grasp the idea that completing a worksheet or an assignment or a course is really not the end goal, but a process in completing high school so they can achieve their goals in life, then and only then will they begin to understand why they are doing it in the first place. This vision provides them with a line of sight, an emotional connection to reach the goal of after school, which will help them overcome the challenges and help them continue when the task seems so difficult. It is the emotional connection that we all need to push ourselves toward a goal. When we emotionally connect with something, it gives us inner strength to move forward despite the difficulties. As a full-time homeschooling mom, you have a vision and a passion right now that you're working on achieving. It is to raise children who love the Lord with all their hearts and souls and mind, to help them find their gifts and talents that God has given them so they can serve Him for the rest of their lives. This is what will make them successful in life, and you want them to succeed beyond high school. You have a world-changing goal. You are emotionally invested, and that is why you wake up every morning and do the same thing over and over again without any recognition or gratitude from your family at times. You carry on when you're sick, when it seems like it will never end. When you have to clean toilets and wipe stinky bottoms, you have a goal and you are emotionally invested to see it through. This is a perfect example of emotional connection and a passion that drives you even when you don't want to or when you feel like you can't go on. You do it anyway. You survive the sleepless nights, teens who know it all, mounds of laundry and dishes, and the list of to-dos that never end. You know what you need to do to raise those kids to adulthood, and you are emotionally invested. As an adult, this seems pretty easy to see, that the emotional connection is what helps drive you when you don't want to do what you need to do. This is something that we need to teach our teens. But let's talk about and translate it into how your teen can understand it. Science says that the brain is not fully developed until the mid-20s, meaning that your teen's reasoning skills are still developing. Trying to sit down with them and explain to a teen that they just need to change their mindset and become emotionally invested in a passion or goal to become motivated will probably not get you anywhere. That is why, as I said before, you need to know your teen. Where are they in their development of reasoning skills? Do they have a goal for their life after high school? Do they have a passion? Have you taken any time to talk to them about this? Use opportunities like complaining about math to give them a peek into life's goals and the process of getting there. When your teen has a passion or a vision, a goal, and is confident in working towards that goal, knowing that high school is just a small step toward making that goal a reality, it will start transforming their thinking. Remember, the way you think is the way you feel, is the way you act. By now, you might be thinking, this is all great, Michelle, excellent info, but I need to motivate my child now. In 4 years, they will be gone. How do I do it now? I can't wait for the reasoning skills to develop. Well, this would be me if I were listening. I'm one of those. I don't want to wait. I don't have time. Give me answers. So let's tell you something that you can do right now as you continue to get to know your teen and show them every opportunity they can. That school is not the end goal, but is just a bridge to get them to where they want to go. Here are a few things that you can do to help motivate your teen as you continue getting to know your teen and working on becoming a good example for them as well. So start by adding delight-directed learning to their school day. Lee Binns says delight-directed learning is when a person pursues learning about a topic because they take great delight in it, and not just because it's a required course. You have unlimited choices when it comes to choosing curriculum for your teen. Although you do need to cover all the basics like reading and writing and math and science and social studies, you'll want to look for curriculum that will encourage your teen's passion. If they love art or music or science, give them more. If they ask for microbiology or economics or the study of the world wars, follow their interest and get it for them. Always ask yourself before you choose a class or you buy curriculum, is this fulfilling a requirement? Is there a course that would better complement my teen's desires that would fulfill this requirement? There is nothing wrong with your teen having 2 courses in history or music, for example, in one semester, if that is what they love. As long as you have covered the core courses required for graduation, your options are endless. When a paper is required for a course, as much as possible, allow them to write a paper on a topic of their choice. For example, my son loved everything having to do with business and entrepreneurship. If a paper needed to be written about a period of history that he was studying, then I would let him choose to write about a favorite entrepreneur of his time. My oldest daughter took guitar lessons, voice lessons, and AP music theory class her senior year. That's what she loved, and we had covered all her core classes, so several courses in music were added to her electives. This was also extra beneficial to her because she wanted to major in music. Her goal at that time, her dream, was to be a worship leader. I created a class that included the voice lessons, the guitar, and time preparing and leading her youth group worship team. She did it all. It was her passion. I just followed behind her lead, and I created a course through what she did. If you can't find a course that is directly related to your teen's passion, create a course like I did. So how do you create a self-directed course for them? Lee Binns says, don't work ahead, you follow behind. Make time and room in their school day for them to do what they love. Let them choose as much as you might not like it, and let them go with it. Take note of what they do. Yes, literally take note. Keep track, write it down. How much time are they spending a day on what they love? What are they creating? What are they learning? But be careful not to take those passions and turn them into school subjects, because if you do, you most likely will find that your teen has lost interest in that subject. Our son was an entrepreneur since about the age of 9. By middle school, he was spending much of his spare time building websites and selling on eBay. By 16, he had his own business and website. This learning was mostly done through trial and error, because that is how we learn best. He watched YouTube videos and tutorials, read blogs, and taught himself most of what he knows today. One year, I decided to turn his love into a class, and I called it something like Building a Small Business. Now, at the time, I didn't tell him it was a class. I don't remember really what I called it now, but I did buy a book for him to read and on starting a small business, and I told him, I'd like to see what you create by the end of this semester. That was it. That was all I required. I let him go with it. I gave him the book and suggested that he read it. I wanted to see what he did. I didn't have to worry about him spending enough hours for it to count as a course because he was already spending so much time with his passion that he spent so much time with his passion. He spent so much, I'm sorry, I'm getting all tongue-tied. He spent so much more time on this because it was his passion. He spent more time than he did on any of his school subjects. He was already working on a few business ideas and a couple of websites, so it was natural for him to continue. He also loved snowboarding. He was up the mountain so much with his dad in the winters that I counted snowboarding as his PE credits. Two of my daughters were competitive dancers. They spent so many hours in dance class and in competitions, so I used those classes as either fine arts classes or as PE credits, depending on what they needed most that year. Now, my youngest daughter was very different with her passion. She spent much of her high school years obsessed with makeup artistry. She would spend hours watching YouTube tutorials on makeup application and techniques, makeup tools, the best colors and shades for the skin, etc. She would practice on herself and her older sister, who very much enjoyed the same thing, and our daughter became quite good at it. In her junior year, she announced that she wanted to be a YouTuber and moved to LA. She wanted to do makeup tutorials and vlogs. Well, this worried me quite a bit. How in the world was she going to survive? She loved watching and learning, but she had no idea what to do in creating a video. She'd never done it before. So I did create a course for her. She needed another elective. I told her that if she wanted to follow her dreams in order to succeed, which I knew she could, she should find out all there was to know and all that was involved in making educational videos. Before she graduated and moved away, she needed to be good at this. I paid for an online course in learning how to edit videos. The only thing I required of her was to have an edited makeup video up on YouTube by the end of the semester. As in the case of our stunt, I didn't have to worry about her spending enough time doing this. She had a goal and a passion, and she knew that in order to succeed, she would have to learn a few things first. By the end of that year, she told me she did not want to move out to LA and be a YouTuber. She hated editing and did not want to spend her life doing that. She loved makeup and skin and all things related, but she would find another way to pursue her passions. Well, fast forward to today. She is a master esthetician and works from home doing what she loves. She is an amazing makeup artist and does modeling on the side. Kids will learn when they love what they are doing. Your job as a homeschool parent is to pick up the mess they leave behind and turn it into a course description of what they have learned. That's the best kind of learning. Gather all you can for class documentation, writing, drawings, work experience, records of group meetings, etc. Collect samples of what they do for fun. When the year is done, you can group these experiences together and use it as a course description of what they covered. Now, don't ask them to gather all the information for you, you do it. Yes, it's going to be more work, but with self-directed learning, they do what's fun for them, and you do the work. When you make it a class, they will very likely lose interest. That's just the way we humans work. Those of you who like a plan, this may seem kind of scary for you. How do you know if they're doing enough to count as a course credit? They are doing enough, believe me. If it's their passion, they will spend enough time. They will learn, and they will more likely learn more through this than any other class they take that year. They may even become experts in the field. Teens in public school do not have this tremendous opportunity, so as a homeschool parent, take advantage of it. One opportunity that may help you or one option that may help you is to find a mentor for your teen who has a passion that is similar to theirs. Let them spend time with the mentor and learn from them. The mentor will be your partner in developing the course description. Another option would be to find a place where they can volunteer that is related to their passion. So in closing, try to look at life through your teen's eyes. Think how it was for you. How did you see life when you were 13 or 15 or 18? Right now, school is their job. You wouldn't want to go to work every day and do something that you did not like, maybe even despised, and not get paid a dime, literally, maybe no rewards, knowing that you were stuck there for 4 years with no way out. Those 4 years would seem like an eternity. So try to see it from their perspective. You were there once. You may not get them to like algebra or biology, but you can help them see the why for the classes. And you can give them something to look forward to and enjoy doing every day. When they are frustrated with the subject, help them see the connection of that subject to life after high school, whether it is to prepare them for a college class that they will need to get the degree to get them to their goal. Or maybe it's just learning about the why of a history event so they can help prevent history from repeating itself. Or they could be well-informed citizens making wise decisions when they vote. Maybe it's just character building that some of the classes will give them. We all must do things that we don't like doing. It's just part of life. And as Christians, we are called to do our best in everything with a good attitude. And in doing so, we give God the glory. Help them find their passions, and if possible, help them explore careers that they could use their passions and gifts. Encourage them to remember their goals when they start relying on their feelings. Remind them the way that you think is the way that you feel, is the way that you act. So to quote Brian Moran, when does a champion become great? When he decides to do the things that make him great. When you help them see why they have to do school and the benefits of the future, you will not only have a teen that is motivated, but works harder and happier. You are shaping a leader. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Thanks for hanging with me so far. I'm almost done. Do you ever wonder if you are doing enough for your teen by homeschooling them? Well, you're not alone. 45% out of 683 homeschool parents I personally surveyed wonder if they're doing enough. Here are a few specific questions several have asked. Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments if you have felt the same way. Will my teen be ready for college? Am I teaching the right strategies to help him excel and get into college? Am I choosing the right curriculum? Where do I get resources to help so that he can succeed? How do I get them motivated? I need to get her excited to learn. How do I know if he's on track? I would like to have him pursue his interests while keeping up with his grades to get into any university. Can he do this and stay on track? I'm new and I have no idea where to start or what I'm doing. How do I know if I'm doing this right? Because many homeschool moms have asked me these questions and come to me for help, I decided to create a 4-week masterclass series where many of the foundational questions to homeschooling a teen can be answered. Today, I'm opening up my masterclass series, and I'd love for you to join me. This is what is included in this 4-week series. So, if you register for this 4-week series, Confidently Homeschooling Teens, oops, I'm sorry, I am on the wrong slide. Let me find the right slide here for you. That is the wrong one. Okay, here's the right slide. Sorry about that. Okay, So what's included in my 4-week masterclass series, Confidently Homeschooling Teens? Well, it includes a 4-1-week live 30 to 40 minute masterclass presentations, which will happen on Tuesday afternoons, immediately followed by a 30-minute question and answer. Replays of all these workshops will be available. One extra Q&A session will be given in July as well. You will be invited to an exclusive Facebook community. Learn, communicate, encourage, and hold each other accountable. I also have included 4 of my updated ebooks: the 4-Year Guide to Preparing Your Teen for College, Grades and Transcript Solution Bundle, Concurrent Enrollment and Your High School Student, My High School Checklist and Course Requirements. I have also included several bonus workshops by leading experts. Top 10 Homeschooling Secrets to Beat Standardized Test. This will be given by Jean Burke, the author of the award-winning College Prep Genius program. Building Your Teen's Executive Functioning Skills will be given by Dr. Carol Brown. She is a cognitive developmental therapist, Doctor of Education, and founder of Equipping Minds. Now, if you wondered what executive functioning skills are like I did, this is what they would include in her workshop: paying attention, organizing and planning, starting tasks and staying focused on them, managing emotions, keeping track of what you're doing. Those are all things that our teens need to be able to know to do well in high school. And I will also add another bonus Q&A session in August to keep you accountable and give you a chance to ask any other questions that you may have found after going through the program. The first 10 to register will receive a private laser coaching call with me. So the 4-week masterclass series, Confidently Homeschooling Teens, includes 4 workshops, my 4 updated ebooks, and an extra question and answer session in July. This is a $139.95 value. The bonuses, the top 10 homeschooling secrets to beat standardized test workshop, is a $50 value. And Building Your Teen's Executive Functioning Skills workshop is a $60 value, and you cannot find this workshop anywhere else. It will only be given by Carol Brown to those that are registered for my masterclass series. An additional bonus question and answer session will be given in August for another $30 value, and the fast action bonus, private laser coaching call with me for the first 10 who registered, a $25 value. So the total bonus value just for the bonuses are $165. The total value of everything is $304.95. Now, you may be thinking, I can find most of the answers that I have to homeschooling my teen by searching the internet. Well, you probably can, but how much is your time worth to you? As moms, we are pulled in so many directions, we never have enough time. Why not get the answers in one place and have someone there to help you who's been there and has found the answers? The teen years fly by. Your teen deserves a sure foundation, a plan that gets them to graduation and beyond successfully. You don't have any time to waste. You bring the determination to help your teen succeed. I'll give you a plan of action and the resources you need to make these last few years count. They will be gone in a blink of an eye. I will post the registration link to the masterclass series in the comments below, and I will edit this post when we are done so you can register or just find out some more by clicking on the link. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. Just comment below or send me a direct message. I'll be here ready to answer the questions, and I hope you have a great night.